winning and losing is part of politics, but this was a massive defeat for the opposition and for the Congress. You only won 6 of 61 seats you fought, which is the second lowest in the Congress's history. Before we get into the whys and hows, are you still in a state of shock over Bihar?
Not still in a state of shock. Initially, yes.
Initially, you were in a state of shock.
Yes, because I think the results were too good to be true for them, and too bad to be true for us. And I think we've studied it in more detail. And we do believe that it's not just a random win or defeat.
Okay.
I think it was a systematically stolen, bought, and engineered election.
I was just going to get into the whys and hows of why you think the opposition collapsed, and in a way you've already answered that. But you are clearly coming out and saying this was a rigged game. You are not at all considering the fact that this could just be also the popular mood. Because I just wanted to say this at the outset that, for a lot of us who travel to Bihar, there was a fairly clear sense that the NDA was winning. It was a question of degrees of how much that win would be. But the general mood was that people, they may not have been wildly happy with the government, but they generally wanted status quo. They liked Nitish Kumar's work. And so that was the trend. But you seem to be suggesting something else. Or do you concede that maybe it was an NDA win? It's just are you saying the scale of it was rigged? Or
we think that the election was much closer. Whether they would have won, we would have won. If it had been a fair election, we would have accepted it. It's not like we have a problem with losing. I think we have a problem with unfairness. And this is not just something that I am saying. The Bihar election, and this has been said by multiple people, and I completely agree with that, is probably the most unfair election in independent India's history. And when I say that this election has been stolen, bought, and engineered, I'm saying it after a fair amount of analysis. Could we have done things better? Absolutely. Did we make mistakes? We did. So did they. But did we make blunders? In our analysis, probably no. But then people say, okay, you've lost an election, you've lost badly, this is what you will say. But I'm trying to keep my opinions away and look at it a little more factually when I say what I say.
Okay, I want to get into the facts in a second, because it does feel, and I think this is the criticism, that the Congress particularly wants to attribute defeat to external factors, to the fact that the game is rigged, while not looking at what was going on within. And frankly, if you look at the trend, in some ways the outcome isn't surprising, because the Congress has been in a state of decline in Bihar for decades. You've not had a chief minister for 35 years. Your vote share has dropped from 40% in 1985 to 8% this time. Leave the past aside. Even if you look at what happened in 2020, the Congress won only 19 of 70 seats. You had amongst the worst strike rates of major parties. You had 5 years to fix the problem. I think you were sent only in February of this year, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, February.
Surely that's a major factor in how things turned out, right?
See,
as opposed to external stuff.
I agree with you that the Congress should have done much better work over the last 5 years or even over the last 35 years. Okay, let's accept for a moment that the Congress didn't do all that it needed to do. What about the other alliance parties? CPI-ML has a very strong cadre.
Sure.
It's a very committed cadre. It's a very dedicated party. The RJD has been in Bihar forever. And they're pretty strong. Why is it that their performance is comparable to the Congress's performance?
This is only a teaser. The full interview is available on our website only for our subscribers. You have to catch this one. So subscribe to newslaundry.com, watch the full interview on our website. It is worth your money.